second first-round pick. What happened in day two, of course, is Brock Osweiler went to back up Peyton Manning at Denver. Russell Wilson, selected by Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks in the third round. And Andy Reid going to long ball throwing Nick Foles from Arizona. So we have 7 gone. We got 4 more rounds. We'll see. Mel, take a look at, well, Osweiler, look, the beauty is he ain't playing.
It's old school. It's going back to the days when you could develop a quarterback. Peyton Manning's there, learn from the master, wait 3 years, then be the guy. Worked very well for Aaron Rodgers. That's what Osweiler, forget about the red zone, 45%. It's not going to matter. Watch Peyton Manning attack the red zone very effectively. Osweiler maybe could have used another year in college. That's why he's a late second-round pick. They probably figured we got value. He'd have been a first-round pick next year for sure. So I think for the Denver Broncos, it's a good fit because he has time to watch and learn Peyton Manning do the job. And in 3 years, maybe, Todd, he's got a chance to be the starter in Denver.
I wasn't up here yesterday, Mel, so I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about Ryan Tannehill and the fit that he is in Miami. I thought it was a great pick at number 8. I think Tannehill has all the intangibles and the physical tools to fit in perfectly in the system. And I also think when you look at him, he understands what is expected of him in this offense, and you know that he knows the verbiage and he can step in right away. I think that they want to run 80, 90 plays. Mike Sherman's the new coordinator, who's the head coach of Texas A&M. Joe Philbin has that West Coast system, brings it from Green Bay. I think it's going to help him in his development and advancement. I think Tannehill's a great fit with the Dolphins.
I like Russell Wilson. I want to put an exclamation point on that. He's going to the Seattle Seahawks, and he's going to play in a West Coast system under Darrell Bevell, much like the system he played in and flourished in at North Carolina State. He's going to take this personal. I know he's not 6 feet tall. He's just under 5'11", but I've seen him function behind big linemen at Wisconsin and big linemen at NC State. He's the guy I'm really rooting for. If anybody can do it, Russell Wilson can do it under 6 foot.
I'm going to go back to day one a little bit with Brandon Weeden. Everyone, 28, he's going to be 29 in October. Forget that. There's maturity that you are getting. And a bigger time arm than they've had in Colt McCoy. I mean, Colt McCoy, it doesn't mean he's going to be dealt immediately or anything like that. But I think come September or before that, we'll see that Brandon Weeden is expected to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns on a team that woefully needs offense. And they got Trent Richardson. And his maturity is what will serve him in a division where the other 3 teams made the playoffs. So you don't get picked in the first round you're just hoping. That's a change there in Cleveland. Now, we got some left. Mel?
We do, and I think these guys could have obviously, you think about where Kirk Cousins could have been very easily second or third round. He's available in day 3 now. Round 4 will be a nice pick at that point. Then we get into guys who are expected to be day 3 possibilities, late round picks. G.J. Kinney, Tulsa, B.J. Coleman, Chattanooga. Those were transfers from major programs. Kinney came from Texas. Coleman came from Tennessee. Chandler Harness did a good job in the Mid-American Conference, but they're late round possibilities.
Just wrapping things up, I thought the Rams had to do a good job today with all those picks, and they did. When you look at it, Brian Quick, the wide receiver out of Appalachian State, Janoris Jenkins, the cornerback from Florida, then North Alabama, Isaiah Peed, a versatile running back, and then Tremaine Johnson, another good cornerback with size out of Montana.
A couple guys left on the board I like. Orson Charles, a tight end at Georgia. Lamar Miller, running back at Miami, Florida, can fly. And those 2 guys are coming off the board, I think, quickly tomorrow.
And a guy that set a record in college that may never be broken. 50 wins. Kellen Moore, quarterback, Boise State. Draft him, you'll be happy. We're happy to continue the draft on ESPN at noon Eastern here at Radio City Music Hall. Trey Wingo and the gang. And it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to talk about football in April. You know, what are you guys doing the draft for in the early 80s? This is...
The new Taurus is going to blow people away, starting with the guys who built it. I haven't driven it yet. I'm going to try to take it easy and warm up slowly.
Hi.
You get car sick or anything?
No. Is that a challenge?
No. So with the 2013 Taurus, I can pretty much voice command anything.
Pretty much. You're going to be able to change your radio station, make a phone call. All of that you can do with just the sound of your voice.
All of it.
All of it.
Never have to take my hands off the wheel.
You never have to take your hands off the wheel, which is good when you're driving.
Want a chance to live like a millionaire? This year, take your game to the next level with NFL.com Fantasy. You could win $1 million, and victory will never be so sweet. You could win $1 million playing the new fantasy game from the NFL. For more, go to NFL.com/fantasy.
Let's break down the blockbuster deal. New York sends 2 guys to Chicago.
You know, these guys should help our guys finish ahead of their guys.
Those guys are overrated.
How many guys you need at that position?
Our guys could use a couple of guys like those guys.
The guy they got for those guys, that's the guy for the future.
How many guys you need on one team?
Can anybody beat these guys?
Which guys? Those guys?
Yeah.
No.
To hear every story from every angle, go to ESPNradio.com.
This is the Charter International Dateline Facility, where scientists have created the most powerful internet, with which I just viewed Season 1 of Game of Thrones on HBO Go. Charter TV in HD, upon which I will view Season 2 by crossing this line into the future.
Oh. Get HBO and the nation's most powerful internet and let it all in.
A reminder from Subaru of Glendale. When life hands you a curve, hug it. Road gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive is standard on all Subarus. You'll love the special 0.9% financing on all new Subarus in stock at Subaru of Glendale. Or lease a new 2012 Subaru Outback 2.5i Premium for $279 a month from Subaru of Glendale.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second round, the second part of the second round here at Radio City Music Hall in New York. The Green Bay Packers have moved up to the 19th slot overall in the second round on a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. So here are the Pack, 15-1 a year ago. However, bounced unceremoniously, 37-20 by the New York Giants, who, of course, went on to win the Super Bowl. So the Pack now with the pick. You're in the middle of number 2. Now, I don't know. They gave up a lot of yards. They forced turnovers. They give up a lot of yards, but Matt Flynn's gone.
To announce the Green Bay Packers selection, please welcome from Florida State University, selected in the second round in 1990 by the Packers, defensive back Leroy Butler.
I want to say hi to my mom. She just had hip surgery, and my children. With the 51st pick, 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers select Jerrell Worthy, Michigan State. Thank you.
Well, like we said, defensively, and by the way, you love Leroy Butler, right?
Yes, I do.
He invented what?
Lambeau Leap.
Yep.
6'2½", boom, 310 pounds. I mean, he had his moments at Michigan State. You look back at the productivity in some games. He did a good job. He's a guy who faced a lot of double teams during his career. He was kind of the marked man on that Michigan State defensive line. A powerhouse. Bench presses 415 pounds, squat 600, ran under 5 flat at the combine. Pretty good athlete as well. John, his approach, solid, workmanlike. What did you see on film that you liked or didn't like about Jerrell Worthy?
I was disappointed in Worthy this year. I wanted to like him. He played too high, not very much stamina, and I just didn't see a lot of production and too many penalties. I got to ask Bill Polian. He did this a long time. Nobody knows the 3 technique like Bill Polian. I got to find out what he thinks.
Well, I'm high on this guy. I think he's got incredible power, as evidenced by the statistics on the weights. But more importantly, he turns that power into speed and explosion. This guy is a force. He's not consistent yet, and he's not mature yet. Probably should have stayed in school, but the bottom line is this guy is a force. And he did it against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game against some people that are going to get drafted.
But interesting, thank you, Bill. Interesting, could have stayed in school as many of these guys do. And there's some that say that maybe even the coaching staff there, boy, he would have been really an unbelievable player had he played another year.
We had Michigan State in the Outback Bowl. What really bothered me is they took him off the field in passing situations. They played a 3-down package, and Worthy's on the sideline. If I'd have taken Warren Sapp off the field in a passing situation, he'd have killed me. So I want to see this kid play in the most critical passing situations in football, and he's improving stamina, some of the things Bill Polian just pointed out.
Look, Green Bay lost only one game.